Are you ready?
A Shot of Wrestling, episode 305. And away we go.
Break your damn shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot. Oh, so take a shot. Oh, yeah. I'm a street breaker. I'm a heartbreaker. This is my dawn. I'm a Ramon Razor. Rick Flair, Nature Boy, about to seek and destroy. It's an SOW. Let me hear you make noise. Take a shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of A Shot of Wrestling. I'm your host at MITB. Normally record the show Friday evenings, right after SmackDown. But not this week. We're coming to you live to tape Saturday night, right after Money in the Bank. There was no way we could do a show Friday night, miss Money in the Bank, and wait a whole week to talk about it. So we just pushed back the show 24 hours. And I'm glad we did, because that was a great show. We'll get more into that very soon. But quickly, I just want to give you guys a PSA here, a little heads up. I've never been into brand names. I'm not a brand name guy, right? I get what's either in my size or what I can afford. So last year, I don't know if I mentioned this, but last year I wanted to get, for some weird reason, I wanted to get AirPods for my iPhone. Never wanted them before because I knew it was a waste of money. I've seen people on the street, they seem like, for some reason, seem douchey. Walking around with those little things in your ear, it seemed like a huge douchebag move. Never wanted them. But then I went to the city one time, and it was kind of annoying with the cord and the earphones and wrapping them up and then unwrapping them on the way home, which is what happened to me when I went to the city to get my first shot of the vaccine. So I'm like, let me try getting AirPods just to save me the hassle of putting it in my pocket, unwrapping it. Then when you take it out of your pocket, you got to most of the time they're knotted up for some weird reason. So I looked into them, and they're like $120-something bucks. $200-something for the really fancy high-end ones. Fuck that. I just, in the pit of my stomach, felt like there was no need to spend $120 on these two little plastic things that aren't connected to any cord. They go into little base. What if I lose one? What if they break? Like, same thing with sunglasses. I'm not somebody who needs to spend, like, an exorbitant amount of money on sunglasses for the same fucking reason. So I found the pair for like $25. Boom, bought them. They're perfect. They showed you a little chart of what they do compared to other versions, and they do what the $200 version of AirPods do. So I bought them. They were great. Fantastic. I highly recommend them. So I'm leaving at a friend's house, and I put them in my ear, and they drop to the floor. I'm 6'6". They drop all the way down, and they break. Ah, fuck. I got to buy a new pair. So I bought a new pair. Cheaper. $20. Even better than the original pair. So now all of a sudden people at work are leaving their things in their ear. I'm like, fuck that, I'm going to start doing that too. So I did that. What happened last weekend? I forgot it at work. Now I don't want to go the whole weekend without listening to music. So what I do is I hop on Amazon to buy yet again another pair. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring this story up, and I'm sure it's a long-winded story, but I bought a pair for $9.99. The base feels cheaply made. It's pretty weak. But they're freaking fantastic. Great stereo, HD quality sound, much better than the $20, $30 pair I bought. I'm loving this $10 pair of earpods. Oh man, check out Amazon.com. Has everything. So if you guys want to invest in a pair of earpods, gladly do it. But if you're like me and are hesitant to do it, there is a $10 pair on Amazon I highly recommend. Rant over. Before we get into Money in the Bank, I know most of you here for our special guest interview this week. This is a woman me and my former co-host met during our commentary days, the good old days and the before times. She started out as a valet, and then next thing I know, she's in the ring, killing it. This woman quickly climbed the ranks, not only in that promotion to win their first ever women's champion, but in other promotions. Her name was all over the place. She got sidelined with an injury, but now she's back. She sits down for this exclusive interview. The vivacious one, Vicious, Vicki.
What is up, everyone? It is me, your favorite actor, the Hollywood assassin, Mark Schwann, invading Shot of Wrestling once again for Hollywood's Corner with a dear friend of mine, I would like to say. Guys, you may know her around indies. She's been a guest on Busted Open Radio as well. She's also, I think, the record holder for longest winning wrestling fashion. Guys, give it up for Vicious Vicki. What's up, my friend?
What's up, dude? I'm good. How are you? Nice introduction. I'll take it.
You'll take it?
Well
All
done.
right, good.
Well done.
Good. And I should say, like, you've won multiple championships. I mean, that can't be disregarded too. But those that know you, they definitely know that.
Oh yeah,
Vicki, what's been going on? I feel like it's been a bit.
I know, dude. It has. Yeah. I mean, I kind of just been like getting back in the swing of everything. So came back from a little minor injury, just trying to find my way again and reclaim all my freaking belts back.
Right.
I got this hit list out. Right. It's a hit list where I have everybody who took my titles away from me are on it. And I'm kind of on this like conquest to get them all back. So we shall see.
We shall see. We shall see indeed. Yeah, it's quite the list, actually. Tell me about that. I mean, like, who in your eyes is number one? Did you rank it like in like that order, or which is just
kind of? So I put Riley Shepard first because I feel like we have our we have our little feud, but also the Goddesses of War title was one of the first ones I lost. So that's the first one I got to get back, so kind of structured it in my head that way. Yeah.
Was it built based on the rivalries that you had before you were facing your opponent, or is it based on like what the championship meant to you?
It's more so just based on like the opponent and like the person, and like that said company and what they represent. For me, it's like, listen, I'm one of those that's like, I am so hungry for things, and I had all this momentum, this crazy momentum, and then all of a sudden it was just done, halted, stopped. And there's a little bit of like revenge in me, Vicious Vicki's got a little bit of revenge. She wants what's hers back. So there's really no like set thing. It's just, I think it's like an order of like what I lost, how I lost them.
Vicious Vicki wanting revenge? No, that can't be right.
You got the wrong girl. It ain't me.
So yeah, you suffered an injury. Tell me a little bit about what happened, because the last time I saw you was BCW Queen of the North 3, where you did commentary. Excellent job, by the way.
Thank you.
But it sucked seeing you not perform, because I love watching you perform. I think you're fantastic at what you do in the ring. So tell me what happened there. Like, what was the injury, and how was the recovery process for you, like mentally?
Yeah. So it was my knee. I thought it was like kaput. I really did. I was totally believed that like I was going to be out for like a year. Just because
this was your first injury that you were missing time, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. So, I thought I was going to be out for like ever. And because the way it hurt so bad, I went and got all these different tests and MRIs and x-rays and everything, and nothing. And I'm like, what? I'm like, so what is the explanation for the feeling? And they said it was some sort of over usage of your knee. Women get it, women athletes, whatever. I'm like, okay, great. So as long as I didn't tear anything. Yeah. But to have that even 3 months off, and then you have to kind of come back and just like prove yourself and reclaim everything. It's just, it's a task, but it's not that it's not hard. It's just mentally it was, even though it wasn't so long, you still feel like you missed out on stuff. It's
3 months. 3 months can feel like a lifetime, though, especially when you're as active as you are. I mean, you're competing pretty much every single weekend, sometimes multiple times a weekend. So like that could feel like a lifetime. And then, as an athlete, you're wondering, is someone else taking my spot, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I'm sure all these things are going through your mind.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it was hard to watch certain things, but I'm like, you know what? I'm very optimistic. I'm like, hey, I know my truth. I know, where I stand in wrestling, and it's like, I'll give it that shot still. And I'm definitely a lot stronger than I was before I went out. So that's good too. So there's a lot of good that came of it for sure.
I am a firm believer that everything does happen for a reason. So if this was a way for you to come back stronger, then so be it. How does it feel now? The knee and everything's good.
Yeah, everything's on the up and up. Everything's good, healthy, thank God. Everything feels good. I love it. Like I hate it, but I love it sometimes. Like when I'm in there, I'm just like, oh. I'm like, all right.
It's the artist's curse, if you will.
yeah, definitely. That sounds about right.
So tell me about this. So this is your first big injury where you're missing time. What was it like going through the curtain for your first match back?
So I was like, at first I like wasn't nervous, and I'm like, that's odd. I'm like, you always get nervous, and I just like wasn't. I think it's because I was so eager to kind of like get back into it that I like kind of like had all my nerves just like kind of go away. So it was almost like bittersweet too, because it was like, oh, okay, wow, like I'm doing this again. Like, holy shit. Like I thought I was going to be out much longer. So it was kind of like a, oh, wow, that was quick moment, you know?
In the first bump?
Like riding a bike.
Love
like
it.
Riding a bike.
Love it. Like you missed nothing whatsoever. No, that's great. I mean,
it was cool.
Thank God it wasn't anything more serious than you thought it was. Yeah. That's crazy. Like, so this was a specific, like they said, a woman athlete specifically get this?
Yeah, it was just the most bizarre thing I've ever heard in my life. But I was like, okay, sure.
Wow. All right. Well, at least you're 100. Now you're back at it. You're back in full force. You have the revenge list. You know, I have to say, because going back to BCW Queen of North 3, I mean, you did commentary. That was the first time you did that, as I understand it. What was that feeling like for you?
That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool to be on the outside and kind of call the action and kind of know like what they're thinking, you know, as an actual wrestler. Like it was very interesting and I really enjoyed it, you know, like being able to watch the talent and see, you know, what essentially for me, it was watching what I'm coming back to really, you know, like what's out there, what talent is out there, what
scouting the competition.
Yep. 100%. But it was super cool experience, you know, and I definitely did enjoy it.
You sounded like a natural on there, no joke. And I understand afterwards, after the show, I found out you guys didn't have headsets. And that place did get pretty loud.
It was hard.
I remember having one of my first shows like that too with Putty at BWF, where my headset went out. And it's so hard. If you can't hear, you have to have that chemistry. Luckily, me and Putty have that chemistry doing the podcast every week. And like I was kind of figuring out, kind of guessing right most of the time what he was saying. But you never worked with Cheyenne or Green Man before. Like, you know, so how did you adapt to that aspect?
So that was just, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, like as a person or my character, whatever it is, but like I'm very like adaptable. Like I'm very quick to like lights, camera, action, go. Like I'm just that kind of person. So I think that like the most struggling it was like you said, where you can't hear what the other person's saying. So you kind of have to like, you know, be close.
And you can't say what? You can't say it. No. As much as you want to.
No, you're right. There was a few moments I was like, I was like, I got nothing.
You feel like you're like a club. You're like, what? Huh? Yeah, I like it too.
It was so bad, but it was really fun, and we had good chemistry. It was really good.
No, that's awesome. You know, you actually we talked beforehand too. You asked me a little bit about advice because you know I've had my experience with it too. But you know, your boyfriend Rob Williams of Bob Culture, he's had quite a bit of experience himself doing commentary. Did he give you any advice?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He gave me a bunch of pointers and tips and all that stuff, and it was cool to kind of. And I remember us like kind of having a conversation like that where I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I was like, I'm asking you for help with something that you do. Like, this is kind of cool. Like, you know, like outside of my pay grade, as he would said, it's not my pay grade. That is, that's something that he's really, really good at. And it was cool to kind of get like help. And he did. I mean, the things that he told me to do were like so spot on, like little things, so.
Could we see one day Vicious Vicki and Rob Williams on a commentary booth together?
It actually did happen.
It did happen. Oh my God, I'm behind on the 8 ball here.
It was Titan's Blunt Force Trauma show on MITB. Me and Rob did do the show together. I was a crazy person, so I'm just warning you now. If you watch that, because my mic was so close to my mouth, I sounded so much louder than him. And I was like very like La Greca-y. Like I was like, like,
Yeah, oh my God, I remember too. Putty sometimes gets on me like, I get too much in the mic and I'm in my heel character, my heel voice coming on. It's like, dude, stop yelling at the mic.
Yeah, it's pretty loud. It gets pretty loud in there.
I just use it as part of my gimmick, dude. It's like, Putty, you do this to me, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was fun though. It was really cool.
Speaking of heel and face work, when we worked together at BWF, you were a monster heel. You just radiated that heat. You were fantastic at it. And then when we worked together at Titan for that one show that was on, you were going through like a face turn. I was going through a face. It was a weird thing. How has that transition for you been working as a face? Do you enjoy it more, or is it still like a work in progress for you?
So if I'm being completely real, there's no cooler feeling than people loving you so much. And just like the fans just like are so good with me, and everybody loves me, thinks I'm so cool. And I'm like, why? Like, but it totally full blown turned, I'm definitely like, I'm over, I made a comeback to Invictus and did a little something there to make my mark known. And Invictus, I came back and I was a major heel there when I left. And it was like, welcome back, Vicki. Like, Apollo was like, nice. But I did like, if I had to pick, I liked being a heel. I think that was my true forte. And I was like, I like being a bad guy. Cause like, you don't interact. I don't interact with anyone. I just, old school heel.
Right. No, heel work is I enjoy it the most. Like I still feel like I'm still trying to find myself as a face. AJ Pando, sometimes something like I'll show him a promo. It's like, dude, you still just tone it down.
That's how I am.
Your face.
Yeah.
But you know what I think about you though, because you do get the pop, and I have to say, working as a face is not easy, right? Because it's being heel is a lot more fun. I think a lot of people would say that, and like. I think people, especially like you see like in WWE, for example, like, when a heel turns face, there's a lot, the smiling's going on, a lot of high fives and it gets pretty cheesy and no one really likes doing that. I've seen you be yourself. Like, I feel like you haven't really changed as far as a character or who you are based on like, being face or heel, and you still get that emotion from the fans, that, what management is looking for. And I have to say that's amazing. Like, if you can get over as a face as you were as a heel, I think then you are the goods. You are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. Thank you.
So like, I have to ask, what's your secret?
What's in the secret sauce?
What's in the secret sauce? Give me some advice here. I need it.
So I think what's worked for me for so long is that I am myself. It's not like, pull the curtain back. We already did this whole interview, which I do appreciate that. But that's the thing, is that I'm just me. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, no matter what gear I have on, no matter what promo I'm cutting, like, I'm just me. It's like, this is what you get. This is Vicious Vicki. The only thing you might get out of me as a face is obviously the structure of the match is completely different, and I want your sympathy. When I'm not, I'm kicking your favorite person's butt, like, but it's like just being myself and sharing my story, and just I feel like I just connect with people, like how I felt with Lita. Like, I didn't know much of her story, but like the way she looked, the way she carried herself, I wanted to be her friend. I wanted to like know her. Me, it's like I have this outlet now, like social media, where we can share everything and we can be ourselves and do all these things, and people see the real person, and it's like, it's not a gimmick, like I'm just this tough ass bitch who's trying to make it, like, and I just do my thing, whether you like me or not, I don't care, like,
Yeah, you always keep it very real, and I have to say, like, even like you share things about yourself that not many people have the courage to. You talk about your highs, you talk about your lows, and your journey is very inspiring. So, like, when you have to be a face, like, I think it's easy to get behind you that way. And then, of course, like, you do enjoy being a heel, and you worked out very well as well. So if you want people to hate you, you can easily turn that on too. But switching gears here, instead of me praising you, we have to go to BCW July 30th. Yeah. BCW Anniversary 5, 5th year anniversary. So the last show you were doing commentary, now you're in the ring for the first ever, it was announced today, the Empress of Anarchy match between you, Eve Surreal, Bonesaw Brooks, and Brittany Blake.
Yes.
How do you feel about this match going into it? Do you even know when the Empress of Anarchy match is? Do you know what you're getting yourself into?
I have no idea. But I'm always very, like I said, adaptable. Like, hey, we'll figure it out. We'll get the W. Edith Surreal is on my list. She has something that belongs to me too. So that's another person. I think this will be a great match. I think it'll be a good story to tell. But I'm on a mission, man. So I always tell these girls, I'm like, watch out, because I'm on a mission here, and don't get in my way, because it will be vicious. But I have no idea what to expect. I don't. I only worked Edith. I haven't worked anyone else. So it's interesting. And I've seen them all work, so I know what they're capable of. They definitely what they bring to the table and all that stuff. So it should be a really, really solid match.
All four of you, I mean, are badass competitors. I mean, you multi-champion. Edith Surreal obviously carries that weight with her name. Brittany Blake just coming off MLW. Bonesaw Brooks, Suplex Machine. And then, of course, the whole aspect of the match itself, it seems like it's pretty much an anything goes type of deal here. You say you have your eyes on Edith Surreal. She's on your list. With that being said, with her being on the list, do you feel like you may have the blinders on to Bonesaw and Brittany here?
I don't think so. It could go either way. I could be just so fixated on that, which is okay. But I also know that like when I'm in the ring, it's competition time. It's best woman wins. So I think I'd be able to keep them both on and ready. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
exactly.
Vicious Vicki, I am looking forward to that match. I'm looking forward to Anniversary 5 in general. Second BCW show of the year, back better than ever.
It is really exciting. I am very excited. It's been so long since anything, and that just it's really cool to see everybody too. Because I remember when I first came to BCW in like 2019 or 2018, whenever it was. Super green, blonde hair.
Super different.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy, but.
You were working more like a valet at that point, even, I think.
Yeah, I had a match, but I was super green. I had a match against Vanity.
That's right.
But I was a manager for a while, but I kind of look back and I'm like, that's crazy. Like where I was then to where I am now. Like it's all about evolving.
Your journey has been incredible. And I feel like I was there towards the beginning of it, seeing you at BWF, seeing you BCW, and just like, from then to now, it's just been outrageous. But I knew there was something special about you when I first saw you in the ring, and just to see that rise, man, has been incredible. I am a huge fan, Vicious Vicki, always have been, always will be, and I am always grateful for your time on this show. Thank you. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have here for Hollywood's Corner. Vicious Vicki, thank you for coming on. You're always more than welcome to come back here. Where can they find you on social media?
Yes, so my handles are at Vicious Vicki. There's a couple underscores in there, but I'll always pop up. Facebook, Vivacious Vicious Vicki, and then I have a Linktree link in my Instagram bio, which has all other fun stuff that you can just figure that out. So yeah.
Awesome. Once again, thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck. And the Empress of Anarchy match, still finding out what that is. In the meantime, yeah, it will be fun though. In the meantime, back to you, Putty, for TV Takedown.
It's time for this week's TV Takedown.
Thank you, Vicious Vicki, for another great interview. Good friend of the show. One of the things I was curious about was her comeback, and she definitely went into detail about that. And, of course, her upcoming match at BCW's 5th anniversary in the Empress of Anarchy match. She will go against Brittany Blake, Bonesaw Brooks, and Edith Surreal. Again, BCW's 5th anniversary, shaping up to be a can't-miss show. It's also interesting to hear how she had to get over the face, because the Vicious Vicki I know, that I first met, was a heel through and through. But I think it was one of those things where she won the crowd over based on her talent and her ability. Looking forward to seeing her in action, back in the ring, in person, again, doing what she does best. So thank you. And my former co-host did bring up a good point, though. The last BCW show, Bob from Bob the Culture's podcast, took a picture of me because he wanted to nominate me for Wrestling Fashion Icon of the Week. But yet somehow, for some way, Vicious Vicki always seems to be in the winner's circle, either by herself or with other people. And they say 2020 was rigged? Come on. Anyway, moving on to why we're here, Money in the Bank. On paper, it seemed like it was pretty decent. The Money in the Bank ladder matches seemed pretty good. Both women's championship matches should have been interesting. Theory versus Lashley, I was curious about. But the match I was looking forward to most, the Usos going against the Street Profits. And holy shit, dude, that was an excellent match. Usually when I watch wrestling, I'm watching it on my TV, laying on my couch. And of course, like most people, I'm on my phone, playing games, checking social media, and whatnot on other apps. But I barely touched my phone during this match. It went 23 minutes even, second longest match of the night outside the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Dude, I was into this match. The fans were clearly into this match. There were a lot of double team moves, a lot of finishing moves, a lot of false finishes. This was a really good match, and the fans reacted to everything, as did I on my couch. It was probably one of the best tag team matches in WWE in a recent memory. And spoiler alert, I'm going to put it right here on my short list of match of the year for the Putty Award in 6 months. That was a phenomenal match. If you missed it for some reason, there's a lot of good matches tonight. Usos against the Street Profits, definitely check out. And again, it's a match we've seen before. This isn't a first-time match. This isn't a dream match coming to fruition. We've seen this match many times on Raw and SmackDown, but there was something about this match, something special. 23 minutes. It was great. And then there was a controversial finish where they replayed it and Montez's shoulder was off the mat. But of course, the referee was out of position. He was covering the other shoulder, which is an interesting end to this match. But I'm all for this because obviously the next logical step would be a rematch with some sort of stipulation at SummerSlam. And if they can roll this back again, I'm in. I never shied away that Usos are probably one of my favorite tag teams. Street Profits are my second, and them together, they just have great chemistry. They work very well together. If you make a list of the top 5 tag teams in the industry right now, they're definitely in it. If not top 2. The only other 3 I can think of are the Good Brothers on Impact, and you have FTR and the Young Bucks, who I'm not really a fan of, but you got to respect what they do, over at AEW. But there's those 2, Street Profits and Usos right now, I think, are hotter than the other 3. Definitely check out this match. I thought both Money in the Bank ladder matches were great, very entertaining, a lot of good spots. Everybody seemed to get their hands on the briefcase at some point, especially in the women's. I think everybody was able to touch the briefcase in the women's. The fans really seemed to be into it. Big pops, a lot of chants. And of course, going to the women's, Liv Morgan. She was a fan favorite, sentimental favorite. She was someone I could see winning, but I didn't think they would pull the trigger yet. I didn't think they would give it to her. Going on a storyline with Becky Lynch. I'm very happy they didn't give it to Becky Lynch. This is what Money in the Bank should be about. Said it last year. I think I was talking to Vicki about it in a previous episode. I feel like the Royal Rumble should not be won by main event people. If you want to give that spot, the guaranteed WrestleMania main event, to a main eventer, it seems kind of redundant. But okay, I can get behind that. But Money in the Bank, that should be given to someone who's on the cusp of breaking into the main event picture, which is very hard to do. And they've done it tonight. Liv Morgan did a great job, well-deserving. Theory, once Theory was announced as the mystery random 8th person, which I thought it was weird they had 7 people, not an even number. You kind of had a feeling Theory was going to win, and it made sense. Of course, a lot of people are hating that Theory won. I already saw some comments on Twitter. But he's a heel character. You're supposed to hate that he won. He's Mr. McMahon's protege. They mentioned it numerous times tonight, and that will add it onto his resume, give him more reaction, more heat reaction going forward. It works. It made sense. I'm interested in this. I think he'll do a great job of it. I am kind of biased here, being full frontal here. He was my one to watch in 2022 on the 2021 Putty Awards. So I have been following him, and he's done a great job in the first 6 months of this year. I'm looking forward to the next 6. The last couple of weeks, they've been saying what a great opportunity it would be for SummerSlam. Last man standing match, Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns. The winner of that match is going to be wiped, is going to be gassed. What better opportunity to cash in than a man who won a last man standing match? But going to something that Vicki kept talking about last episode was long form storytelling. Liv Morgan just cashed in tonight. I don't see them cashing in the other briefcase in 4 weeks. Especially since the fact that the plan right now is Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania 29. And what better way? I mean, Theory is Mr. McMahon's protege, the chosen one, right? He's doing a great job. He's very cocky, very arrogant, very smug. He did a great job tonight with Lashley. I thought Lashley would kick his ass. He held his own, almost won numerous times. So Theory's killing it over there. But what better way to inflate this already inflated ego than cashing in at WrestleMania against, say, The Rock or Roman Reigns? WrestleMania 29, Los Angeles. Right now it makes sense. That's when you cash in. What better way? Have him holding on to it for, what's the time frame now? 7 months? But again, both women's matches were good. But Liv Morgan cashing in tonight. I thought about it, especially when she was asked when does she plan on cashing in. And she said right now she's going to concentrate on celebrating. Maybe WrestleMania sounds good. And then when Ronda Rousey hurt her knee and she was favoring that knee, she was selling that knee big time. Like, all right. Especially after she won. Liv Morgan has to cash in here. And lo and behold, she did. But They also kept mentioning for the last 3 weeks, women's cash-ins are 100% effective. So when Ronda Rousey had her in the ankle lock, I'm like, oh no. Was this foreshadowing? Did they keep mentioning this because Liv Morgan is going to be the one who isn't able to successfully cash in, progressing her storyline of not being able to break through? No, happy they didn't do that. Happy they went the route that they did. It just seemed like the way Ronda Rousey gave her respect, gave her the championship, held her hand, and gave her a hug. Are we not going to see Ronda Rousey for a while? Is she on a part-time schedule? Will we not see her for some time? Because I thought going into SummerSlam, you want to have Ronda Rousey on the card. So that's when I thought maybe someone would cash in. I was surprised they did it tonight. I'm happy they did. Great moment. I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh no. Congratulations to Liv Morgan. The crowd loved it. The fans loved it online. Nothing but praise. So overall, the Money in the Bank, I really enjoyed a lot. Again, the tag team was probably the best match of the night, but both ladder matches were great. Liv Morgan was what a great moment that was. For some weird reason, you missed Money in the Bank. You missed a really good show. Check it out on replay on Peacock. But leading up to tonight's Money in the Bank, we had a pretty action-packed week of television. Starting with Monday night, we had celebrating Cena 20 years of John Cena. Great speech, very emotional speech from John Cena, who does what he does best, promos. It was great to see him in the ring again, wearing his merch and the John Cena regalia. I just find it interesting how he said he's 45 years old, and he doesn't know when he'll wrestle again. But then the fans, of course, chanted what they normally would chant, one more match. But he retorted with, there'll definitely be a lot more than that. So it seems like he's going to keep wrestling more and more, not more and more, but like more than one match coming up. A lot of people thought this would lead into Theory match against SummerSlam, which obviously did not happen. They went a different route altogether. Did something come up? Did plans change? Or was this the plan overall? Curious to find out. Again, John Cena's probably one of the greatest of all time. He might go down when he officially retires as the greatest of all time. And it just shows the impact he has had on this industry, that he had people from AEW on Raw giving messages. Daniel Bryan, Big Show, Chris Jericho, the Wizard himself in an AEW locker room chewing a video for John Cena. That was a cool deal. Tony Khan, props to you for allowing them to do that. You didn't have to, but that just shows, again, the impact John Cena has. I posted on my social media, SummerSlam 2011. I officially became a John Cena fan. I was one of those guys who's like, Cena sucks. He has 5 moves, whatever. I'm not interested in John Cena. But the John Cena shirt, the bright red one, was the only one in my size. So, boom. I became a John Cena fan. Haven't looked back since. Looking forward to him coming back in some capacity. There's got to be a match against him in Theory somewhere down the road. Hopefully, maybe a WrestleMania. They had a nice interview segment with Cody. Good to see Cody again. Looking forward to him coming back. I really hope it's not 9 months. Hope it's a surprise appearance, maybe the Rumble or something. I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes. I'm happy to see him back. He's been killing it. Those 3 matches with Seth freaking Rollins. I'm hoping he comes back sooner or later. What was my match of the week was Nikita Lyons versus Mandy Rose. Whew. What a fun match to watch. Obviously, 2 beautiful women, of course. That's what I'm getting at. But the match itself was pretty fun to watch. So, again, mentioned last week, NXT doing great things over there. And this coming week is going to be Bash at the Beach. Card looks stacked. Looking forward to it. Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock, USA Network. And at the end, Cameron Grimes whipping Braun Breaker into the turnbuckle and did it again. And the turnbuckle snapped off, which clearly had to be, gimmicked. But the bruise and bump on his arm didn't look gimmicked. So now Braun Breaker's injured going to Bash at the Beach. Does that give Cameron Grimes the edge to win? Or does Cameron Grimes finally get his call up to the main roster when this is done? But my biggest takedown of the week, mentioned it last week with Christian Cage's in-ring promo with Tony Schiavone. I said it was better than MJF's. Still stand by that. And the follow-up did not disappoint. Let's hear what you got to say.
Tony, I was asked by upper management if you'll just give me a second. I've been asked by upper management to come out here and apologize for the insensitive remarks I made last week about Jungle Boy's family, more specifically when I singled out his father. Now, I've never apologized for anything I've said or done my entire career. That being said, Jungle Boy, I'm sorry, your entire family isn't dead, and they had to witness...
What the hell is wrong with that?
And they had to witness me end you in that ring 2 weeks ago on Dynamite. Actually, let me clarify. everybody in your family, except for your mom, Jungle Boy.
Beyond the pale. That is...
Classy as always, Detroit. Classy as always. Listen, the only thing this scumbag city has going for it is that you're close to Canada. Now, you Motor City sweat hogs might be wondering why I'm standing out here in street clothes when I requested a match this week. Well, it's simple. I requested a match, but I never said it was for me.
Amazing. Christian, one of the best right now on the mic. And that line about Canada was fantastic. Detroit does kind of suck. I was in Detroit for WrestleMania 23 at Ford's Field. John Cena against Shawn Michaels, main event. Yeah, it wasn't a pleasant city. Not much to do. That's when Green Man decided to drunkenly take a stroll down a back, dark, dingy alley. And me and our friend John decided not to follow him. We just had to take a long way and went around the block like smart people to see if he came out alive. And thankfully he did. But then Luchasaurus came out, not dressed in green, dressed all in black. Typical heel character. So I guess Christian did get to him. Hit that choke slam with, what was his name, Serpentico on the floor. Dominant showing by Luchasaurus. Looking forward to what he does now under the guidance and tutelage of Christian Cage. And what does that mean for Jungle Boy when he comes back? So invested in this. Anything else AEW does doesn't hold a candle to what they're doing with Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. This is the hottest thing right now, in my opinion, on AEW. You know, I jokingly said Nikita Lyons versus Mandy Rose is match of the week, but you got to hold up Chris Sabin against Frankie Kazarian in a match that on TV went 17 minutes, 45 seconds on air, which means it went over that with commercial breaks. Excellent wrestling match. If you like wrestling matches, this is a wrestling match to watch against two great veterans. I saw someone said on Twitter, this match was longer than any singles match Frankie's had on AEW. But just shows you when you give someone a chance what they can do. These two guys tore the house down. A match that lived up to the hype. So again, if you missed that match, Frankie Kazarian, Chris Sabin, Impact, definitely want to check that out. And wrapping up TV, the most anticipated debut in modern history. Max Dupree finally was able to debut the Maximum Male Models. Props to him for calling out their former characters. You know him as Mace, but now he's Massé. You know him as Mansoor, but now he's Mansoir. Does that mean I'm Poudet? Give me some sort of weird circle accent over the Y or the D, whatever. I'm in. This was amazing. Did not disappoint. I know people are shitting on this online on Twitter, but I don't know why. You know what it is. I'm looking forward to what they can do as a tag team in the ring. And the point of this segment is looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to the tennis line collection. Next week, we'll get Maximum Male Models showing us this year's tennis wear collection, and I am all in on this. MaximumMaleModels.com, official website. Definitely check it out. Soon, they will be taking applications, and my resume is good to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. As soon as it opens up, I'm hitting send. I want to be a Maximum Male Model with Max Dupree. But moving on, before I say something I'm going to regret again, Money in the Bank was trending all night tonight. But something else that was trending all week was a huge announcement. Ariel Helwani, at Ariel Helwani, Logan Paul has signed a deal with WWE. Logan Paul just announced on his Twitter. Per sources, it's a multi-year deal to compete on multiple events per year. No return date is set, but could be next month at SummerSlam. Miz would make a lot of sense. Additional details per sources. Deal includes undisclosed number of premium live events across 2022 and 2023. He'll likely, I'm told, have his first big appearance at SummerSlam, but could be on TV before that. Sean Slate at Slate_S42. WWE shifting away from indie darlings and more towards celebrity fighters and sports athletes, it seems. Valerie Lorida? I don't know. I apologize if I butchered that name. And Logan Paul being the most recent examples. Calling it now, Colby Covington will be next, the ultimate heel. Ross Tweedle at Ross on Wrestling. I'm on board with Logan Paul signing with WWE. At Mania, he proved he's not only as natural, but also invested in what he's doing. I can't believe I'm tweeting this, but here we go. And I think what Ross just said there encapsulates what we're all thinking. The Paul brothers are depicted as douchebag assholes. YouTube darlings that fell into a shitload of money, then for some weird reason decided to go into boxing, which they were pretty damn good at. And then he made an appearance at the WrestleMania this year and impressed a lot of people. Even before WrestleMania, people were saying this was a natural fit for him. He's a natural heel. He belongs in the WWE. And here we are. I remember when it happened, The Miz turning on him was because they wanted to give Logan Paul a face reaction. And now pairing him against The Miz going into SummerSlam, I think it was confirmed. Or if not, it's going to be confirmed on Raw this coming week. Makes sense, of course, storyline-wise, but I don't know if they're going to get that face reaction for Logan Paul. And I don't think they're going to give a face reaction for Miz either. I'm looking forward to how this story plays out next couple weeks. We have 4 weeks till SummerSlam. He has to be on TV before that, either in-ring or pre-tape video package. But this did come as a surprise to me. I haven't heard anything. This was in the plan. This was in the works. They did that segment on Raw. They showed Miz, Logan Paul training, and Miz covered that they're going to reunite for SummerSlam. So I should have thought about that then, but boom, there it was, officially at the headquarters, behind the logo, signing the contract with Stephanie and Triple H. Then he posted the video on social media how he's not going to team up with The Miz. The reason he's signing the contract is to come after The Miz, leading to this match at SummerSlam. They have a lot of trust in Miz, pairing him with these celebrities who aren't wrestlers, and now he's going one-on-one with them. This should be good. Miz does a great job with these guys, and this should be a good match. I'm looking forward to Miz vs. Logan Paul at WrestleMania at SummerSlam. And like Ross just said, I can't believe I'm saying that. Huge get for WWE. Mainstream media coverage all across the board. You saw tonight on Money in the Bank. They were recapping it. I'm sure there's a lot more they missed. And again, Logan Paul's a perfect fit. I'm just waiting for his brother to come in. His brother was the natural heel on the WrestleMania pre-show. He seemed to be in character, or was he just being himself? If that was not a character, I could see why they want to sign him, but I'm assuming the writing's on the wall here. His brother, whatever his name is, will come Jake Paul, right? Yeah. Again, it took me to WrestleMania to realize they're different people. Jake and Logan. I thought they were the same person. But I can see the Paul brothers in WWE, man. Maybe Logan versus Jake at WrestleMania like they did with the Hardys at WrestleMania 25, huh? That would get eyes on the product. And listeners into their podcast. Whatever the name of it is. But outside Money in the Bank, that was really all that was trending this week. So let's get into some go-home thoughts. It is 4th of July weekend. Hope you guys have a fun, safe, healthy 4th of July. I don't know if I mentioned it on air before, but I'm not a big 4th of July fan. Never really been. Remember as a kid, fireworks were cool. My parents would go take me to see them in person. The Macy's fireworks display from a Queens viewing point. And after like a couple minutes, I was like, all right, can we go home? I mean, it's the same shit over and over again. But now we have people in my neighborhood here decide to think they're Macy's employees and now set off fireworks all hours of the fucking day and night. First of all, why are you setting off fireworks during the day? That makes no sense. I mean, if I had a time machine, I would hope the founding fathers would sign the Declaration of Independence, maybe say January, where it's colder and people don't want to be outside. But the food's good. Burgers, hot dogs, chicken wings. One thing I can say about 4th of July, the barbecue food is always on point. So I hope you guys have a healthy, safe 4th. Hope you guys enjoyed Money in the Bank. Thank you for listening to me ramble on by myself here in studio for another solo show. I asked my former co-host tonight, did he want to come on to talk about his girl, Liv Morgan, not only winning, but cashing in. I got no response, so if you're the two people waiting for my former co-host to come back, don't hold your breath. If you listened to the last week's show, Green Man has yet to answer Vacant's challenge. It's weird, no, Vacant beat him in trivia. But the last 2 times he was here, he's challenged Green Man again in trivia. And Green Man has just ignored him. You would think that was the other way around. You think Green Man beat him in trivia and Vacant's trying to get the revenge. But no, Vacant's the winner. He's a champion. And he wants to defend against Green Man again to prove that he's the best. But Green Man's ducking him. So we'll keep you abreast on that situation. Again, the show is from the fans to the fans. I think we still are, the official podcast of BCW. Anniversary, July 30th. Pre-game to SummerSlam. I mentioned it earlier with Vicious Vicki. The card is stacking up. We have Luscious Latasha going against Vanity against Demarius Dawkins in a triple threat match. Vanity trying to make her way back to the title picture. Mentioned it earlier, Empress of Anarchy match. Edith Surreal, Bonesaw Brooks, Brittany Blake against Vicious Vicki. Blonde Force Trauma will defend the BCW Tag Team Championship against the Hex. The War of Words is already raging on social media. Definitely want to check those out. The Rev Ron Hunt going against the All-Father, the longest-running BCW champion, Darius Carter, as he works his way back to the title picture. Ruthless Lala defends the BCW Women's Championship against Riley Shepard. Tickets are still available, but they are going fast. July 30th, Ridgeville Park, New Jersey. And our good friend Jimmy Jaley hosting a SummerSlam watch party at Hooters right after BCW's 5th anniversary at East Brunswick, New Jersey. $10 admission, which include all raffles and a chance to win 2 free tickets to a future event. I heard something that there will be transportation provided from BCW's event to the Hooters event, so definitely stay tuned to social medias for more information on that if you want to spend all day in New Jersey pre-gaming and enjoying SummerSlam with a bunch of rowdy wrestling fans. But that's all for me, folks. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on social media, Shot of Wrestling, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you want to send us an email, inbox@ashotofwrestling.com. Any questions you want to ask us or any comments, any more interviews you want to hear my former co-host talk to, any special guests you want to hear guest hosts on the show so you don't have to hear me talking to myself, or if you just want to get involved in the conversation, your comments and questions can be read on a future episode. Again, that's Shot of Wrestling on all platforms. But that is all I have for you folks this week. So for Vicious Vicki, I've been your host at MITB. Until next week, Putty out.
Hey baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh my. And maybe you seem a bit confused, yeah baby, but I got you pinned. Ha 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.